I think it's been magnificent. You know, the whole club on and off the field, and I stay in the background. I just follow them, and I think it's been really exciting. They've had their feet on the ground, very competitive, and I like the way they handle things. Ken's just come in. Matter of fact, the way he speaks, but you know, there's a lot of desire behind all that. So couldn't have done any better. Really wrapped.
Do you remember that club champion night where you said the club should just take everything before it, don't put any limits on it?
Yep.
Ken's living that theme. How much do you like that about
I love it.
His attitude?
Yeah, I said to Ken just a while ago, was sitting up there, I like the way he just fronts things. He doesn't put limits on anything. And we were talking about 97. It's very similar this year where we just went out there and played football. Attitude sets you apart from the rest, and that's what Port Adelaide have at the moment. Love it.
Kind of hoping somebody else would ask this question, John, but we might as well get to it.
Yep.
I mean, everybody would like to know some of your greatest memories at Football Park. Most of them were against Glenelg. Can you give us your thoughts on your best days at AAMI Stadium?
I would say the best was 77. 76 I lost it because I wasn't strong enough as a coach. You know, I accepted things. You got players suggested they should take someone, you know, as a challenge for them. In hindsight, I would have done it differently, but the players tried. We weren't good enough. Our matchups weren't good enough, and so I should have been stronger as a coach. So I lost 76. 77, I lived at West Lakes, drove past the Oval at 8 in the morning. There's probably 10,000 people there. I had a horrible feeling if we lost again, how would I cope? I really thought of that, you know. Anyway, we won that. We were down to 17 players at the end of the first quarter. Ivan Eckerman was the only one we could really put back on the ground, so we, a couple of needles, put him in the goal square, and I think he kicked 3 goals from memory, I'm not sure. But we won that. So I remember that one really well. 79 was windy. 80, I don't really remember a lot about that. 81, very talented team. Then we go to 88, love that, came back from West Adelaide. 88, 89, 90. 89 I remember, North Adelaide, where they kicked 1 goal. That was a really good effort because when you got a team on the run like that, you can relax, but just the mental toughness of our team just kept going. So that was a really good one for me. And 94, when we're 6 goal down, 20-minute mark of the first quarter, to recover takes a lot of resilience and belief and just trust in each other. We had that. So good ones.
To build 2 premiership eras here, take the club to the AFL. Have you thought about all those issues of 1990, then 94 all over again? Just what would have been the best for the Port Adelaide Footy Club, how it could have set up, and what it can do going forward?
Going forward now?
Yeah.
I think the way they're going, look, I'm wrapped the way they're going. I believe in our hierarchy. I just think on and off the field, Port are heading in the right direction. Going to Adelaide Oval, you're going to ask me that. I think it's a great move. I really do, because I was a South Adelaide player, trained at Adelaide Oval, then Bob McLean saw that I lived in the Port Adelaide area, so came back, played at Alberton. You know, I think it was 75, 76 we got kicked off here, had to go back to Adelaide Oval and train. I love Footy Park, let me say that, but Adelaide Oval is something special. If I had a choice as a younger person, I would have said Adelaide Oval every time, but I still liked AAMI.
Can you have Power and Magpies together?
Yeah, I think you can. I think the way the club's heading, look, I don't have any problems with it. I can see the Magpies here next year, okay. Love to have the Port reserves here as well. The AFL players playing under the banner of the Magpies. And I just trust the Port hierarchy to do the best they can for the club. So whatever happens, they've got my support.
So the vote's going to be tomorrow. The board, the invitation's going to be extended today, as of that meeting this morning. Any indication what's going to happen, Ken?
Myself, no, I haven't. No, I'm sitting there and just watching and waiting to see what the outcome's going to be. As I said, I'm really comfortable that we've supported our community as best we possibly can, and whatever the outcome will be, we'll support again, because as John just said, you know, the people in charge of our club are doing a magnificent job at trying to get the best deal for Port Adelaide Football Club, and they'll do that to the best of their ability, and you know, we'll play under whatever those rules are. And you know, as I said, if that's status quo, I'll be okay with that as well. And if it's something different and we get to have our our side play representing the Magpies and the Sample, that would be great too.
Have you worked through the issues of, if you can't have what it is status quo, what you're going to do with top-up players and all those issues? Have they asked for your feedback on
Oh no, we've discussed a lot of that stuff, you know, and you know how we're going to get the top up players, and you know our system's perhaps going to be a little bit different than what Adelaide's might be, but it's more going to be about, you know, keeping juniors if we possibly can, and getting our best young Port Adelaide people to play for the football club, and you know, work our way through that the best that we can, you know. And there's still going to be possibly going to be some restrictions that are not ideal, but there's, you know, we're moving forward, and that's what we've got to do.
So how does that look?
How does it look?
Yeah.
Oh no, I think it's going to, again, I'm not totally over exactly where it's all at the moment with Keith and David. They're certainly taking care of most of that, and you know, as I said, I trust that they'll get that the way it needs to be, the best way we can possibly get to try and represent, you know, the club the best way we can at both levels.
Can I just ask you about the weekend game? I know teams come out this afternoon, but how are you approaching that? I mean, you've got Dom and Paul Stewart and Thompson, these type of blokes. Do they have to play this week to have a chance of week 1 of the finals?
Look, it'd be ideal to give them some football. Dom will play and Homsey will play. We'll give them a game this week and make sure that we get some football into them and give them a chance to be fit and available for the following week without taking our eye off the ball. That's the important part. You know, we've got some players that we need to have available, but we also got some players that we need to look after a little bit with that too. So we'll make some decisions there and get the best side out there for this weekend to represent our club and win this game of football this week.
Would you rest anyone like Lions?
No, we won't be. We won't. The only reason we would make a change to our side is going to be based on, you know, the players' fitness to play the game out and to give himself the best chance to be available to play at his best. Now, we've got a couple of players who sit in that category who are not quite at their best at the moment, and we will make sure we manage them the best we can.
Given Carlton's situation too, is that sort of ideal from your point of view, that to have a team that's going to come at you so hard?
Perfect. Yeah, I mean, what a great opportunity for us. We're going to go and play against a side who absolutely have to win to get their place in the finals, and you know, we're getting ourselves ready to play in the first week of the finals after that. But we get an opportunity to do everything we possibly want to do this week and get ready for another game the following week. Okay. So importantly for us, we have to get this week right, because if we worry about next week, that will be an absolute big mistake.
Just on that, Ken, I was going to say, you had a doll up every time we've asked you about finals this year, be a rich man. Now you're actually there. How have you addressed it with the players and overcoming that point you just say? And just have you canvassed it with them, or have you at all?
Yeah, no, look, we've certainly spoken about it straight after the game last week, that we, you know, we've earned the right. You know, we've qualified in our own right, and that's the pleasing thing. We actually qualified, which is, you know, really important to us, is that you want to make sure you win enough football matches to get yourself in that position. And you know, but again, as I said to the players, our focus now has to be on playing our best. Well, our focus had to be on training well Monday, you know, and then training well again Wednesday and again tomorrow. So we've been really good as a club that we've kept the focus really narrow, and we're not going to allow that to escape. There'll be players, it's natural that they're going to look ahead a little bit and think about it a little bit. We're going to do our best to control that, and we know the best way to control that is to play tough footy on Saturday.
Have you noticed anything different with the players this week?
No, not at all, to be honest. They've been really good. We've reviewed hard, we've prepared well, and we're training well. So I think they know exactly what they've got to do. What you teach people, I reckon, at the start is you give them a direction to take week in, week out. Then it doesn't matter about the consequences of that weekend. You actually then just go in and prepare the right way each time, and then you go and play. And again, at the end of that, you get what you deserve.
In terms of Dom Cahill, what have you learned about him this week?
I know he's ready to play footy. That's the important thing, because he was ready last week, and we just wanted to give Dom the best chance he could to string together some consistent football. And you know, we thought long and hard about playing him last week, and we made the decision not to because of the trip and the travel and everything else. So we thought the best thing for Dom was to, and we know how important he is. You know, you talk about leaders of your football club, and Jack's sitting beside me. Dom's a real leader of this footy club, and it's going to be important for him to be out there when we need him.
How do you think you're tracking? You obviously had a disappointing loss last week. Do you think you're tracking well into the finals?
Yeah, I think we've played. Look, our last two losses have been Geelong and Freo and Freo. I think we expect, you know, their sides are in the top of the tree, and you know, they made hard work for us, and we weren't at our best. Certainly at Geelong in the second half we recovered a little bit, but you know, Freo were just, you know, they're just all over us with their pressure, and what you get is you get a great lesson. You know, I said that after the game, you get a great lesson in what you need to be able to bring yourself and what you've got to be able to get to, and we don't have to wait to get there. We've got to charge to get there.
John, is there any comparison to the way it began for you? I remember 74 was a difficult start but a big finish, and not quite right at the end. And 75, another learning experience. 76, the big learning experiences. Pulled on that same sort of journey.
Yeah, I think they are. They're right on track, and if you had a choice, you'd rather play a top team than a bottom team coming in the final. So the harder the game, the better, and this is going to be really fiercely competitive. So couldn't have a better hit out coming up to finals. So I think they'll just gain by that.
Ken John spoke about all the premierships the club's won at Footy Park. Is the team going to feel the weight of that history running out?
No, we're going to respect it. I think that's the important part. We need to respect the history of the football club and at Footy Park. And, you know, as this club's been so good there that we'd like to go out there and, you know, and pay respect to that and hopefully play in the way that Port Adelaide will be proud of and, you know, and then take that and transfer it back into the exciting new home ground at Adelaide Oval.
Jake, you touched on all your fond memories at AAMI or Footy Park with the Magpies. What's your early memories or your fondest memory of your stint with the Power at AAMI Stadium?
AAMI Stadium, first game, beating Geelong. That was really good. Then we beat Carlton, I think, the next game after that. So we had some good times there. It was good, you know. AFL was different. It's full on. Loved it. Loved the way the players approached it. They were confident. No restrictions. Just went out there and played football and expected to win, even though probably we didn't quite have the talent at times. But it didn't matter. Mentally, we were good. So I would have said the first couple of games that we won. That was a buzz.
What about the first showdown?
First show, oh yeah, I forgot about that. That was fantastic. Yeah, I love that because just the hate with each other, just the rivalry, which, you know, that's what you need. You go to Melbourne and you see Collingwood and Carlton play, and we don't have that here other than showdown. So the first showdown, we were underdogs, but did we think we could win? We hoped we could win, probably. But it was still the thought there. Once the game started, you know, we just wanted to challenge them, and to win that was right up there. That was nearly up there with the final, actually, to win that first showdown. Yeah.
John, they were in the black and white jumper. What do you think that represents?
I think it represents giving 100% every time you hit the track. It's courage, preparation. I like the way Ken spoke about how they prepare a team. You know, I still think come finals time, best prepared team wins. That's mentally, particularly mentally. You know, they just get the players all up there, belief in themselves, train hard. Just the quality, the intensity on the training track, that's all important. So,
would you like to see Port in showdowns?
See more?
The black and white jumper in the showdown.
Look, I have, Michelangelo, I have an open mind. I'm not a person that lives in the past. I'm a coach that's been there and been lucky enough to have some success, but whatever happens with the club, I have total faith in the club. I'll support it, whatever happens. Am I negative about anything? No. If I was, I'd ring up and say something. I don't do that. Never done that since I've retired. And they just have my total support on and off the field. So I'm happy with what they do. I trust them.
Ken, how's Chad Wingard travelling? Are you expecting to come up?
Yeah, Chad. Chad's has been a little sore, obviously, as everyone knows. We subbed him out last week, but look, we expect so far that he'll be okay. We'll go through training tomorrow and make final decisions on that from there. Brad? Yeah, exactly the same. We have got a couple that every club has this time of the year. You get to the end of the week, you know, and you're managing your players. You're doing the best thing you can, and you're going through those who have got some sore spots and those who are, you know, just got some wear and tear. That's what an AFL football season does to you. So,
Ken, after the events of the week, does the AFL coach now have far greater responsibilities just to clipboard and working out a training schedule?
Clearly, yeah. You got it. You know, it's a massive responsibility that you have, and you have to manage the whole football department, and you know, you have to be prepared to make sure you keep a really close eye on everything as best you possibly can. I think the Essendon saga has obviously been, you know, a real distraction for footy, a really difficult thing for AFL football to deal with, but it is going to make football better. You know, we'll all be much better prepared. We'll all be very much on guard with everything, and, you know, keep a really close eye on everything. And I'm sure that's, you know, Essendon themselves would say that they'll be a better place for it.
Are you finding you're asking questions you once wouldn't have considered?
We're checking. I suppose that's the answer. Is that we do check and we do tick off and make sure that we. I think you do. I think that's your job, is to make sure you are checking and keeping an eye on everything anyhow. So I think, yeah, we are checking, but, you know, you actually do focus you get a bit sharper. I reckon the focus becomes a little sharper on everything to make sure that, you know, as a club we are doing everything right, because we're in that stage that, you know, we're not ready to make any. We can't afford to make any mistakes in what we're doing. So we've got to make sure we're really, you know, our attention to detail is spot on. I say it to the players, we have got to be a little things club. Every little thing we do, we've got to do it well.